Please don't.
Yes.
Hey, yeah, hey, Lois, why don't you, shut up over there?
Most of the throwing on you got there.
Oh, good God, he's doing it again. You guys, he's doing it again.
Bring me some good news.
Hey, Sam, you know that novel you're writing? Yeah, you got a beginning, middle, and an end? Huh? Yeah.
Oh, jackpot. You like
Well,
popsicles?
This is high quality content.
Got so freezer full down in my stomach.
We might. All right, guys, we might as well just go ahead and get this started. It's going to be a weird episode. It is Saturday night. About what time is it? 10:30.
10:52.
10:52. Wow. Normally we record this on a Sunday afternoon, but
Sam's a slave driver, and he's making us do it at midnight.
yeah. Well, we went out, did a little shooting today out there at the Johnson Ranch. And then shot a video after that, and the video took a little longer than we were expecting.
For the
so,
love of God.
By about threefold.
Yeah. So now we're in here doing our podcast, but we're gonna have a good time. So yeah, the shooting did not go well for Sambo today. But how did you guys feel?
Boy, you stuck your dick in the dirt, big time.
Yeah, but
Literally off in the corner. It was really weird.
Yeah, he tripped and fell. It was hilarious.
Yeah, but I didn't think I don't know. When he started, reciprocating on it,
Yeah, it was weird how when he fell, he actually spun in a circle after he hit the ground. I didn't know how that happened.
I've never seen somebody fall
was like
about 400 times in 30
Yeah, it was like a pivot. Like he hit the ground and just started spinning. It was the weirdest thing we ever
We
saw.
don't want to lose the entire audience.
We're starting strong, I
So
think.
tone it down just a skosh or two. But they're
His
anyways,
face is really red right now.
It is not. I'm sure they can look at the video. If you haven't, if you're listening to this on an actual podcast, we are finally a real live podcast. I got us published. We're on Google, on iTunes, and Stitcher currently, as well as we're being hosted on Podbean, so you can listen there as well. And of course, YouTube. You can always check out the videos on YouTube if you want to watch us. Do what we do. So, anyways, why they're giving me shit is I am the loser for today. I lost by about a second or so. Nothing horrible. But I am the designated beer bitch. So and rather than getting up, I just brought a whole frick cooler over to me. So
I think that's cheating.
It is.
That is cheating.
Not.
Yeah. You know what? I'll give you this though. We were consistently okay. Johnson was tearing it up all day until the end.
Manny malfunction.
Yeah, that was a
It
rough
struck
break.
again.
I don't understand it.
That was the only time it malfunctioned today, too, wasn't it?
The only. I had one malfunction all day. It was running so good all day, and it was at Freedom Fest, it was doing the same thing it has. First two rounds, it didn't want to run the slide far enough back to pick up a round, and I got home from Freedom Fest, never touched a thing, just threw it in the safe and called it a day. Then this weekend I pulled it out and I was like, well, better test it, see if it's going to be a dickhead all day, and it ran great.
Except when you needed it.
Until the one you needed it in.
I thought you had it figured out because she was running. You didn't have a malfunction all day long, did you?
No.
Not until it really mattered.
Yeah, when I was and I'm sure this didn't have any effect on it, but I was that was the run that I was pushing past my, how you shoot at your 80% speed or your 100% speed. I was trying to shoot at 120% speed that round to make sure I was taking the lead. Yeah. And it just and then when I did have that malfunction, it took me extra long because I was already flustered, trying to shoot too fast.
That was a funny part of the day, but I think the best part of the day was watching Sam miss a 2 foot tall by 1.5 foot wide steel target from about 9 yards 4 friggin' times in a row.
Well, what happened was these two, Johnson and Box, they were running in the lead pretty much most of the day. It was really them two competing for first and second, and me and Toady back here, we're rounding up the rear. and we were within a second coming into the last stage there, and so I started the way the last stage worked was we shot 4 targets on the right, transition over to the left. Well, wait, we shot those 4 targets on the right and then moved, didn't we?
No.
No,
we
not
just
on
shot
that.
okay, so we shot the 4 targets on the right, 2 on the left, and then we moved up to our ARs.
To the
Mhm.
rifle, yeah.
So what happened was I shot those 4 on the right, and I had a brain fart, and I started moving. So I was already out of my shooting, and I had to step back, calm down, and take a couple shots, and I ended up missing the 1 target, and I said, screw that target, I'll take the second penalty. And by that time, I was already, but
And you were like 3 shots deep on that target.
yeah,
And
I
you're
don't know
to
where the
hell
hell
with
those.
this thing,
I'm just, I don't
Yeah.
know. It
Like,
was
you could have thrown a rock and hit that thing pretty easily.
Well, to be fair, I only lost on that last stage to you by less than, it was like half a second or something like that. So I didn't do that, that horrible, even
No,
with my
and that,
penalty.
and that's hard too. Like once you catch yourself in a stutter,
Oh, I did that
you
twice
know,
today.
like step off of the stage and like think you're gonna move forward, and then try and regather
to get
yourself.
back into get back into it, you're just hosed.
Yeah, to
so.
try and regather yourself to get back on target.
So,
it is hard.
Yeah, so that kind of sucked. I don't like losing, especially to these yahoos. But it's the 5th week, and this is
Still
the first
worst.
time.
I mean, lost this week.
This is the first time I'd lost, so I'll gladly be beer bitch. I told him I was not sitting in the beer bitch designated area, but
Don't worry, I got it. Sam, you need to clean your glasses more often.
why? I just washed those.
Yeah. You don't think it was one of the 60,000 bugs flying around outside? You don't think
Totally.
that could have got in there?
It's a good possibility. So why don't we while we're talking, let's transition
fine.
into whiskey of the week, eh?
You didn't let everybody know that
Oh yes,
I won.
All right.
by 7 whole seconds, I believe it was, Sam. I thought that was important to
Over
throw that in
last?
there. Yeah. Definitely
I
not
was
over
like,
second
whoa,
place.
Whoa, you didn't beat me by 7 seconds.
It makes me feel important though.
I don't know what the total times were, but
Sam was 50.71. I was 49.21. You were
49-1.
49.
I was at 43.
Yeah, so you were 6 seconds ahead of me. Well, and I had
If it wasn't
Yeah,
for
but
that
you had
one
that. You
malfunction,
had that
though.
really. You had
Yeah,
that
because
shitty run
with
on
that
the last-
malfunction,
the
your
last
time was
run.
like 23.41 seconds.
And I think without that malfunction, that was probably like a. I think that was in the 15 to 16 second range run.
Yeah, because when you got up to your
'Cause
AR, I
once
mean, it
I-
was like,
Well, once I got cleared that malfunction, I just ripped down the line of those targets because it was right away.
Right, and that's usually the way it goes. Once you screw up, then you're just like ding,
Yeah,
ding,
shooting
ding, ding.
lights out. Yeah. Why did you put that on me?
So yeah.
I don't know,
Anyways,
dude.
we
That's a
got
piece of belly
like we
button
do
loot.
every week.
Sam,
What?
do you have copious amounts of belly button loot?
Guys, I told you that this episode was probably going to be a little bit of a shit show, and you are witnessing it now. But that's all right. No, I don't have copious amounts of belly button lint. But let's
I think you got some.
let's
in his
move on to
glass.
our whiskey of the week.
he really wants to try this whiskey.
I do. What we got today?
It was fun.
We got
It's
Bird
almost
Dog peach flavored whiskey.
Can you really call it a whiskey though if it's flavored?
It's
like,
almost as funny of a noise as.
Yeah, but it's,
how excited Sam's gonna
Yeah,
get.
well,
It is.
We'll watch.
It is 80
Top-
proof, so it's not like a sissy drink or anything. We'll see how this.
You're not-
Oh no, that's
do
that's
it
not even
again.
exciting. Hold on. There we go. That's better. Boy, that actually smells delicious. Even just popping it open a little bit. Pass her around, I guess. You guys can all pour your own. I learned from my mistake on the first week when I poured like half a glass, and that was kind of interesting. But yeah, it's got really good. It actually
It's
smells.
got a good nose on it.
It does. It does. It smells.
Swirl it.
It smells.
I'm getting
damn
hints
good.
of oak and peach. Jesus,
Hints
Box.
of-
Smells of rich mahogany.
It smells like
Wow,
Ready to
dude,
get
that's
drunk, Toad.
Box, are you on a mission?
peach
I
and
sure
whiskey.
am.
Yeah,
that is actually this is actually a one that you could and I don't drink straight whiskey too often except for our whiskey of the week, but that's a smooth, easy to drink, delicious whiskey. I like that.
Whiskey
we're gonna
drinkers
find
probably
out.
would not call this a whiskey, though.
Well, this is a common man's whiskey of the week. We don't,
It does smell good.
it actually smells and tastes delicious. Toad, you're not a fan of how it's smelling right now?
What's going on over there, buddy?
Get broken.
I don't think I like it.
Really?
No,
Boy,
it's very, very peachy.
I thought it was
No
like-
way.
It smells like the peachos.
Like,
that you,
it's
get
like-
from Baumgars.
It kind of tastes like really sugary whiskey to me for some reason.
There's probably a shitload of sugar in it.
Here, Box, you can have the rest of mine.
It tastes like
No, you
somebody
can
took
do
a
it.
bag of
There's a
peachos
sip left in there.
and just let them soak in whiskey forever.
So
Till
at
it dissolved in there.
this point, we've had
That's actually not a horrible idea with vodka.
at this point
I
we've
would eat
had
those.
3 whiskeys of the week, and Toad has gone on.
How was that
on
again?
2 out of the 3.
We missed that.
I didn't do that on this
or
one.
Tastes like. I think that was your.
Yeah, it's
more of a-
I think this is freaking
More of a
delicious.
Scotch person.
Is this our third or fourth?
Well, it's we didn't do a whiskey of the week on the first episode or the
Third.
3rd episode.
Yeah. So we had this bullet and
Dolwinies, which was actually pretty good too.
Of course, and then I went all out and bought an $80 bottle of freaking whiskey, and you guys get these $20 bottle of whiskeys, and it's like, come on.
Yeah, well,
And you know what,
we all
Toad?
made
Sort
your
yourself
10 money
out.
Code. We maybe.
What monies? I don't have any monies.
and
I
you know
spent it
what,
all on
Toad?
bullets and gun parts.
This is an easier to drink, better tasting whiskey than your. I'm not saying it's better. I'm not saying it's better by any
It's
way.
not a better whiskey. It's a different flavored whiskey that is easier to drink.
You're gonna get punched in the nuts.
Yeah.
Wow, that looks like it was really
So
smooth.
it's good to chug.
Really easy to drink, guys.
No, it just kind of went down the wrong. Yeah, she got down the wrong too.
You better have some more there, Sam.
But it is 80
It's
proof.
super peachy. Like
Yeah.
It's 80 proof as opposed to
I mean,
It's
70
peach
proof.
flavored whiskey, guys.
Smooth
Of course
wise,
it's
it is.
peachy.
It is fairly smooth, but
It's pretty good.
this super peach flavor is not doing
yeah,
it for
it's
me.
like there's.
I can understand
super
that.
sweet.
That's
Yeah.
I don't.
It reminds me of actually kind of a lot of SoCo, which I used to drink a lot of, which can't anymore because it's super sweet.
I
and
won't.
it'll
I
make me
won't
throw
give
up.
you too much grief for not liking the
I don't
the
dislike
flavor,
It.
but
I don't.
I think it's
dislike
delicious.
it.
I dig
I
it.
just.
So it's Box's turn next time for whiskey of the week, right?
because us 3 have.
I thought the loser was supposed to buy the whiskey.
Oh yeah, he is correct.
I
And
have yet to
was,
lose.
I was.
I wasn't the loser when I brought the whiskey.
I don't think
Neither
I
was
was.
Johnson.
It's not my fault. You guys are terrible at following rules.
He is correct. Though.
Rules.
Those
Rules
were
are
the,
meant to be broken, Box.
Those.
Well, how are we supposed to get the whiskey of the week if we lose? Where are we going to go? Prano? They don't have that great a selection if you haven't looked.
I don't know.
We won't
That's-
really know the loser.
And Box, if you
Everybody
show up
just
with
has to keep a stockpile of whiskey bottles on hand at their house, I guess.
and if you show up with a bottle of Seagram's, we're going to throw you right out the door.
Oh yeah, I got some in the fridge right
Yeah,
over
I
here.
know you do.
Well, I think for this was kind of a last minute purchase, obviously.
Literally.
Not, there's a convenience store in town here, and luckily they got some whiskeys, and this is what I picked up, and I'm pretty happy with it. I think it's good, so
Seriously
it will work.
thought you were going to show up with a bottle of Yukon Jack.
You know, I did. I had Yukon Jack before. It's down in the Ozarks. My family always vacations down in the Ozarks. My entire family, not my just immediate family. They go down there at least once a year, around July usually. And I'm always late. Whenever I did show up there, it was like on a Friday night or whatnot. And
Weird.
shut up, Johnson. So on like Thursday nights, usually they go to Big Dick's Halfway Inn. That's a restaurant.
Say
down
that
there.
again?
Big,
Yep.
That's exactly what it sounds like. Big Dick's Halfway In. Google it. It's one of the.
That's the name of the restaurant.
Yep, it's a famous restaurant and bar right there on the Ozarks.
Serve a lot of
Big-
sausage there.
Right.
It's a typical sports bar type
Big
place.
Dick's Halfway In.
Yes, exactly what it sounds like.
I can't believe the property people let him get away with that.
Well, it's in with 2 N's.
Oh,
Absolutely. See,
that makes it far better. Yeah, I get that now. Yeah, it's the end.
spelling is important, kids. So anyway, they always go to this Big Dick's Halfway In, and they do minnow shots. And I was never there for those, so I was always kind of disappointed.
Done plenty of minnow shots.
So I showed up there this one year, and I said, well, damn it. They were telling me this. They were telling me how much fun they had the night before with these minnow shots. I was like, well, I freaking want one. And of course, my Uncle Richard, he's a big fisherman.
Oh.
Never catches much, but he always had minnows laying around. Except these weren't like the little minnows that you use in shooters. Like
these were shiners.
Like, I mean, these things were like bass, man. You got to jam it in your shot glass there. So, and the only whiskey that Uncle Richard had on hand at that point was Yukon Jack. And if you don't know, Yukon Jack is not a good. It will not ever be a whiskey of the week. We'll just put it that way. It's not good.
That's what I'm buying if I ever lose.
Well, good luck. That's fine. I am not drinking it. I'm not doing it. So anyways, we get this shot of Yukon Jack up, and they put a minnow in it, but usually the minnow like is swimming around in there and then it dies. No, this thing is like the half of it was in the shot glass and the other half of it was sticking out. And this is not. We have this on video somewhere.
You sure it
I
wasn't a
still have
small
that video,
chub or
yeah.
something
It
like
was
that?
freaking huge. And so I was all right. Bottoms up, and I shot that sucker. I did not even notice the minnow. I didn't. The Yukon
whiskey
Jack
was
was
so
so
bad.
freaking horrible. And yeah, it was some pretty nasty stuff.
I
But,
remember the first time I took a minnow shot. I was at Coyote Ugly in Deadwood during Sturgis Week, and they were doing like their $30 minnow shots, but you got I shot a minnow T-shirt or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
It's like to be honest, I don't even know if I was 21 or not, but I was like, yeah, we'll do 2 minnow shots, my uncle and I. We both wanted Patron as our booze. And I remember this bartender dropped those minnows in, and it wasn't like they even tried to wriggle when they got in the Patron. They were just dead. As soon as they touched the tequila, they
Died of alcohol
died.
bottoms, yeah.
Yeah, so I shot mine. My uncle doesn't like take a shot like fast. He kind of pours it into his mouth.
Mm-hmm.
So when he poured it into his mouth, the minnow stuck to the side of the glass and didn't go in his mouth. So the bartender's like, so he just reaches in and with his finger slips it into his mouth and swallows it after he was done with the tequila. And she just looked at us like, what the hell is wrong with you guys?
I've got a really good minnow shot story. So I've been going to Webster, South Dakota, ice fishing the Wabash area and the winter, and then we fish it in the summertime. And used to be a pretty good group of us from Kings that would go up there. Our friend Bobby, his dad owns a cabin up there with a couple other guys. And there's a place in Webster, it's called the Legion, the Webster Legion. And so one morning we drank forever the day before, and I get woken up at 5:30 in the morning. They're like, hey, we're going to go get on the boat ramp. You get loaded, get the boat in, and we're going to catch our limit before everybody gets out there. So I'm like, all right.
I thought you were talking about getting loaded.
So we
like...
get
so we get on
the lake at like 6:45 in the morning and start drinking, and the day progresses. We catch a ton of walleyes, our limit, and then about 5 o'clock, we're like, all right, let's go down to the Decoy Bar, another bar there in Webster. And so we're down there drinking, and I was like, well, let's go up to the Legion and get a minnow shot. So me and Tyler Campbell go in there, and at this point, we are just absolutely beyond
Schnockered.
annihilated. And $15 there at the Legion you get a minnow shot and a T-shirt. And I have, I think, 6 of these T-shirts that say I shot the minnow from over the years. But
I thought you were gonna say from one morning.
No,
Jeez.
no, I'm getting to the funny part.
Aggressive.
So Tyler and I ended up getting in trouble after we did our minnow shots because when the bartender turned her back, we were eating the minnows out of the freaking fish tank.
Wow, dude, that's.
I don't remember exactly why it happened, but I was like, I bet you won't do it. And he did it, and I had to do it, and I think we ended up eating like 6 freaking minnows out of this fish tank. And she turns around, she's like, what the hell are you guys doing? And I was like, I bet him you wouldn't eat a minnow. And then I had to do it, and then it just kind of kept going. She's like, well, quit eating them. We're almost out.
Well, whatever trips your guys' trigger, I guess.
I ended up throwing up in the bathroom.
I bet that was interesting.
And wandering home, and I passed out in the tree, or like laying next to the tree in the yard next to the house we were staying in for like probably no more than 10 minutes because I woke up and I was like, oh shit, there's the house.
That sounds like a similar story to that same house, but that'll be for a different podcast.
Yeah,
Different day.
The semi story, yeah. We'll save that one for a later date. That's definitely an interesting story. But let's get out of our off the topic of our alcohol fueled endeavors, I guess, and go on to something a little bit more. Let's talk about guns a little bit more, eh? Last week, about a week and a half ago, my older brother moved home. This box is obviously, he's my younger brother, as you know, and I have an older brother as well, and an older sister. But my older brother, he was living in Kansas City for about 6 years, 4 years, 3 or 4 years, somewhere in there. Anyways,
extended period of time.
Yes, a while, several years. But he just hated it and decided it was time to come home. And he's got a wife and 4 kids. They moved up here, and I had to run down to Kansas City on a Wednesday night with him and pick up another trailer and head back up home on a Thursday morning. And so we were talking about our road trip loadouts, like what we use whenever I leave town. Obviously, I got a gun on me or whatever. But when I'm leaving the state, I have a little bit more on me. So what I carried, yeah.
Good catch.
So what I
pause before you get on with your story. Beer bitch, I'm thirsty.
All right.
Oh wow.
I just gotta let you know it. This is the first time you've lost.
It is, and I will own up to it. I'll own up to it.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
So my loadout.
So cold.
Easy there, you betcha. Calm
down.
Oh
my God, that's cool.
I'm pretty sure that's copyright
infringement.
We're gonna get sued.
Yep.
Yeah, that's all right.
Miles is gonna hate us
I'll
now.
call him and just be like, "Hey, you remember me? Probably not. Okay. But, hey, I did a thing. I might be in trouble. Please don't sue me."
So, anyways, back to the conversation. I had.
Sorry,
I'm a Glock guy, as you all know, and I carried my Glock 43. But then I did carry another mag with me box. I did have another one on me.
In your mini pocket?
I did. For a lot of the drive down was in.
Were you carrying appendix by any chance? I saw the holster you were carrying. It looked.
No, I use that one because it hugs a little bit closer.
Ah.
So.
Are you like a 4 o'clock?
Yeah. It depends, like what I'm doing, I guess. If I'm driving a long ways, I'll move it back a little bit farther. So yeah, I'm like 3:30, 4 o'clock position. But I carried in I have obviously several holsters because box makes holsters. So I got.
He does.
The typical one.
I've not seen evidence of that.
In the waistband. I got a typical in the waistband and
not recently.
So yeah, I was carrying about 4 o'clock or so. But then I had another magazine. But then I also threw on another 50-round box of my home defense ammo and my personal defense ammo. And I don't really know why. That's not in what situation are you ever going to use that?
Getting a gunfight on the way there,
right?
And getting another gunfight on the way home.
The only situation that you're ever going to use that in is if it's a freaking zombie apocalypse.
I was thinking more like
and
Red
you got to
Dawn.
get your ass home. What?
I see more like Red Dawn or something like that. But
right, but it makes no sense. Like, why would I ever need that other 50-round box of
I don't know. I think it'd be funny if you just
Why
had
not?
your pockets full of loaded magazines. I carried 9 extra mags with me, and
yeah. Well, yeah.
shit, the way he shot today, he might need those.
Yeah, well, I only lost by a second, Toad, so you can't really give me too much.
Hey,
shit.
I still
well,
didn't
loss
get
is
it.
a loss.
I still didn't get
Still
last.
lost.
Yeah, I understand that, but you guys know what I mean, right?
Yeah.
Like, do you guys ever do that? Let's say you're road tripping.
I was talking.
wherever.
I was talking to Toad about this earlier. Even at the range, I bring way too much crap with
Yep.
me. I was talking to him earlier. Like today, I brought out.
I brought like 1,500 rounds. I'm not kidding.
Yeah. Well, like I live there. I can go inside and get more. But every time we shoot, it's like I bring out 350 to 400 rounds of 223 and like 1,000 rounds of 9mm.
Speaking of that, did you get all your shit out of the backseat of my car?
No, I still need to do that. But
I didn't even realize that was in there on the drive to town.
yeah, and I was like, so today I was consciously thinking of it. I was like, I am bringing my one box of 223 ammo that I know I need. And I know I have a partial box and a full box of 9mm sitting here, so I grabbed those. But I was like, because I always overpack.
Mhm.
And that's the same way, like, on a road trip. So, like, every year, my uncle and I go on a motorcycle trip, and we ride about 4,000 miles in a week, right? That's about our average. It's between 3,500 to 4,500 miles, somewhere in there.
In a
like,
week?
Yeah, 7 to 10 days.
Okay.
We average probably 500 miles a day, 500 to 600 miles a day on those trips.
Hey, tell the story about Dugway.
Yeah, I'll talk about that in a minute. But we've noticed, I have a bagger, and so on the 2 saddlebags, I can fit all of my clothes, right, that I need for 7 to 10 days in my saddlebags. But we always go for the last weekend of Sturgis. You get your Sturgis t-shirts. Like I buy my son a Sturgis t-shirt, my wife, all that, So you get your extra stuff that you gather along the way. And
Right.
I have no room left for anything. And so he also has a bagger. So he fills his bags, but he also has a big pack that goes on behind him.
Mhm.
He's like, well, you can fit all your crap in your bags. He's like, so I have all my crap in my bags, plus this big bag. That just means I have too much shit that I'm taking with me. So he overpacks, I overpack. Sometimes I'll put stuff in his bag, but like as far as going out of town for like a small vacation, like a weekend somewhere, taking off somewhere, I generally have a pistol, an extra mag, and that's about it. That's about all I carry with me.
Never throwing any extra ammo, extra box or anything?
I've never put an extra. I mean, like when my wife and I travel together, we'll each have a pistol and an extra mag.
Right.
But
see, I don't know.
and-
That's just I got to have a
And I
little bit
don't-
extra ammo.
I don't have that extra ammo, like, because the gun that I take with me is that Shield 45, that
Mhm.
M&P Shield 45. So I have a
Mhm.
7-round and a 6-round mag. So I have 13 rounds.
Right.
Well, my wife brings 30 rounds because she's carries that 19 and has 2 full
Right.
mags. I don't.
Yeah, that's just me. I guess and like I said, it doesn't make any sense to throw another box. Like what in the hell the chance?
It doesn't make any sense to not though either. I mean, it's not hurting anything. It's literally zero hindrance.
Right.
Yeah, when you're in a vehicle, like on the bikes, when your space is super limited,
Yeah, that's
know.
understandable.
when weight's
Yeah,
not
I
an issue,
suppose.
but space definitely is. But,
Yeah, I suppose.
I mean, it depends on what you're doing, where you're going. I suppose it would make a difference. Like, now that I think about it, it's like, oh yeah, with 13 rounds, I should maybe bring some extra ammo. But why? I don't know.
Yeah.
I used to take my PMR 30 with me on trips, and you'd throw in like 2 or 3 extra mags. Each one's got 30 rounds of 22 Magnum in it. I mean,
Yeah, if you need 90 rounds to get home, you got a serious
Right, you're in.
Hey,
some
Sam.
shit.
a serious
Sam.
issue.
Zombie apocalypse.
Well, it may happen someday. It may happen.
Is it weird that I kind of hope it does?
No, I think that's pretty much every.
I think every gun owner kind of hopes that it happens.
Yeah, please let me shoot some zombies in the face. We seen recently this week, going on to a new topic, H&K, Heckler and is
Coke.
it Coke?
Yep.
See, that's so weird because it's spelled the exact same as my relatives, and they say it Cook. But anyways, Heckler and Coke, they're having some financial issues. And Johnson, did you say they actually declared bankruptcy, or they're just having issues?
I
think-
believe they.
I don't think they have yet.
I believe they're still just like everything is looking like they're going.
Right. Which doesn't make
file
any sense to me
bankruptcy.
because I don't understand how you, like, how does that happen? They have
Well,
military
and-
contracts. They
Yeah,
have
with all the government contracts they have, I don't know how they can't have enough money. But I mean, shit happens.
and yeah, but the thing I was thinking about is they're very well, like their offerings that they offer to civilians, like
They're
H&K
limited.
pistols, right? But they're also high freaking priced.
Yeah.
Well,
So
it's
they're-
so limited because of Germany's
export
laws.
Is that the
so
reason?
Actually,
Yes.
And actually, Brownells just got 200 or a very, very limited amount of H&K 416 parts kits.
Explain.
So H&K 416 is like an M4. It's piston driven.
Mm-hmm.
It's what the Marine Corps uses or used as like their infantry rifle.
Okay. They
It's
use a
basically
piston.
It's basically an AR, but it's piston driven.
Really?
Yeah. The Marine Corps is one of the only branches
I
that
did
have,
not know
that
that.
have used it. But they're like super, super reliable. They're pretty awesome. But there's a lot of differences from an AR to a 416.
Right.
But Brownells just received a very limited amount of these parts kits, and these parts kits on Brownells are going for like $2,300 for the parts
Good
kit.
God.
For like not even a complete rifle for the parts kit. It's
Sweet Jesus.
$2,300.
Yeah. No, thank you.
But it's the only civilian offered 416 parts kits that have come across like a box store ever, and they have a couple hundred of them, and it's all because of those export laws through German export.
But if we
laws
can
are
get it, I mean,
insane.
we get like like VP9s into the States and stuff like
Mhm.
that.
Well,
But they're so freaking. I don't think the VP9s are horrible priced. What in a I don't know. And don't quote me on this, because I'm not a pistol expert, but I'm thinking like $600, $700, $800, somewhere in that ballpark.
Like
That sounds
Probably,
about right.
So 700-ish.
But that gun just doesn't. It doesn't feel. I can't justify spending that much money on it because first off, I don't like the mag release. The mag releases on H&Ks are really strange. I don't freaking like it. But
how so? I've actually never handled a
they're
H&K pistol.
they're like almost a paddle rather than a push button.
Yeah, that's like it pivots, doesn't it? It doesn't really push it. Well, it maybe does push, but it feels like it pivots, like it's. There's
I
like a
can't
full
remember exactly.
mechanism to it.
It's just goofy, but it's not. Anyway, what I was basically saying was their offerings to civilians are they don't have anything in the decent, back in the range, in the Glock and the Smith and Wesson and the Springfield type of range. Like they can't compete, and obviously they don't want to.
So, and I think part of that. So H&K, one of their big deals is they overbuild everything, and that's for
Definitely over-engineered.
yeah, that's for military, use, right? So they engineer it for worst case possible scenario. They definitely over-engineer everything just to keep it reliable.
Yeah, but there's also like look at the Sig Sauer and the Glock. They're competing for the Army contract.
Right.
Just the normal pistols, and you don't got to make those like super overpriced and ridiculous. You're paying $600 for a brand new 19X, which was basically Glock's. It wasn't the exact same, but their entry for the Army contract, as well as the Sig Sauer, the M17 or something like that.
M17,
Yeah, that was Sig Sauer's entry for it, and they're not like stupid priced. So if they can put out those products that are clearly good enough to compete for a military contract, why can't H&K?
Because they don't have to pay all the crazy export bullcrap from Germany.
Is that the reason, though? I mean, is that
I don't know. Imports and export taxes and all that.
They're
stuff
ridiculous.
From,
yeah, and they're
you know,
absolutely insane. I know that.
So that might have,
The other-
you know, if you have a $1,000 pistol, 200 of that might be from an export issue from Germany, right? Or 300.
Well, the other thing with
If
H&K
you had a,
is
if you had a $700 pistol, it might actually be a $400 pistol in Germany, but to get it here, it might be a $700 pistol. You know,
maybe, but
I don't know.
Toad,
any
what's
of
your
that for
input
sure,
on this
but-
whole thing?
well, the other thing is H&K has been one of the most famous weapons manufacturers in the world since the late 70s, early 80s. So part of that is you're buying a freaking name.
Well, yeah, and they're known for
Reliability.
their reliability.
Yeah,
and
they're a damn
and the
fine
fact
gun.
that they're over-engineered because
I
you
mean,
can't kill the damn thing.
I haven't seen an H&K gun that I wouldn't like to own.
Nope.
Specifically,
I
No thanks.
the MP5.
I had to
Like-
take apart an H&K the other day. The friggin' nightmare. No, thank you.
Well,
German
not everybody's
engineering,
going
but-
to take it apart.
No, I
and paint
understand
it.
that. I understand that, but for me, as a not a gunsmith, but a person that
What particular gun was it?
it was the H&K 45C. I can't remember the exact model.
Was it a pistol?
Yes, it was. It was just a typical pistol.
USB.
USP 45?
It wasn't the USB, but it was one extremely
I've
similar
heard that
to
is
that.
one of the nicest pistols to shoot ever.
Mhm.
Is a USP 45. I have heard
Have you
that
ever
just
seen
the way it feels in the hand, the way the trigger breaks,
Right,
like
but-
I have
and a
heard
lot
that
of the
it's-
guns.
ever seen the H&K MK25?
Yeah.
They had one for sale in Shields, and I swear to God that thing's about the size of a Desert Eagle. It's
Yeah.
huge. It's
Yeah.
humongous. It was built on contract for SOCOM in like the 90s. And everybody loved them, but it's enormous. The pistol's like this long. I mean,
Yeah.
it's huge. And Shields had it up there in Sioux Falls for like $3,500. And I had to ask to play with it just so I could say I, messed with one. Yeah, but that's been a couple of years ago.
So I don't know though. My whole thing was it's just interesting that H&K is such a massive manufacturer that has so many contracts and with police and military. Like, how can you screw up?
Worldwide, too. I mean,
Yeah, I don't understand like how you can be having financial problems.
when you deal with international,
I think
government contracts, that's
Yeah,
I read also. This has been going on for a couple years now. Last year, someone actually bailed him out. And then they said just an unnamed, anonymous donation bailed him out.
Really.
I mean, I can't confirm that, but that's just something I read. But
It is hotter than balls in here.
Interesting. Yes, it is a little warm. It's a Saturday night, a June
It is.
Saturday night in Iowa, and it's
My,
a little bit stale in here. But
my truck's at 70 coming in here.
I think it's just humid.
I think it is just human.
Um,
Bugs have
looking
been bad.
I keep
too.
But at
looking over
least
at
on the
Florida man's
bright side,
face, and-
fellas, at least we had a decent freaking day.
it didn't
To,
even
uh,
rain.
Windy and
to shoot.
shit.
No, we had like 4 sprinkles when we were done.
That was so weird. I was walking back to the truck, and there was a massive sprinkle on the top of my head, and I'm just like, you saw it.
That
I was
was
like,
it.
what in the hell is going
Turned
on
back
here?
And looked at us like, what the hell?
Well, it's like right before I
What
came
in
out to
the
your house,
hemoglobin?
I was at my house, obviously, and it was like downpouring and pitch black, and I'm like, well, this is going to freaking suck.
Yeah, and then you drove 8 miles to my house, and you were like, oh, it's nice and sunny.
Yeah.
The road's not even wet here.
It dropped 16 degrees and then back up another 20 degrees just on the drive to the range.
Yeah,
Well, should
yeah, my
we?
drive, the weather swing was terrible.
Yeah, I'm sure.
We should probably talk about the dumbass of the
12
day, boys.
feet.
Yards to the back, from the back door to the range.
Yeah, we're gonna do a new segment here. we're gonna call this the dumbass of the day. And this is actually sponsored by a new drink from Mountain Dew. This is called Kraut Tea. It is a sauerkraut flavored organic tea. It's going to be out within the next couple months, so check it out specifically at Kmart and Sears.
It is
100% real too.
It is
Totally not
fantastic.
fake.
It is fantastic.
I heard-
It is the greatest.
Well, I
Some of you
think
might
actually
know Johnson is a big sauerkraut
Johnson's
fan.
He was eating out of a jar of sauerkraut the other day in one of our range day videos. So go
Yeah.
check that out on
It is
Ballistic Imagery.
incredible.
So our dumbass of the day, and this was just June 15th, so this was just published today. Florida man accused of stealing more than 70 floating pool toys for sex. Box, can you put up his picture
Check
on the YouTube?
The funny
feed?
thing is, it says
How
this
is
guy's
just
only
look
35.
at that
He-
guy.
Oh my
There's
God.
something special
They
about
said he's only
this man.
35. I mean, like
Well,
Sam's almost 35.
to
He
be
don't look like that.
To be
Well,
fair,
maybe
he's
little
got a
bit,
nicer
but-
beard than I do. I mean, look at that.
No, they're pretty much the same. Yeah.
It's pretty comparable.
they both
You know,
grow-
come to think of it, he
growing all
kind of
white,
looks like
trashy
Sam.
Yeah.
No, he does not.
Oh,
but
man.
God, he is
Oh,
just
Florida
something
man.
else.
so this was
You know,
down
is this like-
a course in Florida, and it's always Florida man. Like when was
Yeah,
it?
I was
you know,
just gonna ask you, is this gonna be dumbass of the day, or is this gonna just be Florida man?
Florida man. Let's just
Florida man
just
or
call this
Florida woman?
man. Yeah. So it says this is in the Palm Bay Police Department has arrested a man they said stole pool floats for he said he was using them for sex instead of raping women, which at least I'll commend him for. Like he was trying to, he clearly has a massive issue. But this dude's 35, and he's charged with burglary of an occupied dwelling, criminal mischief, and petty theft.
And he's 35, but he looks like he hopped on the meth train like 10 years ago and forgot to get off.
Yeah, so he was acting suspiciously when an officer confronted him riding his bike.
Acting suspicious.
And they say he admitted to having deflated
Banging
pool
pool
floats in the bag he was carrying. So the reason they got this guy, in the past 7 months, the city has been plagued with burglaries in which the suspects entered the home and basically only stole pool floaties. So that's rather strange,
That
like
is
how many
definitely odd.
of these crimes are you gonna have?
Didn't take any money, didn't take nothing, but took their pool floaties
Right,
out of
and
their
you imagine
garage.
the cops like investigating these crimes. Like, another one? What in the hell are people doing with these freaking pool floaties?
Right.
I want to know exactly what
boning them.
toys that he stole. Feels like animal-based tubes or something like that.
Are they just the
Well,
big
this kinda-
donuts?
Yeah, or the noodles.
Did you guys ever see that? There was a documentary.
I don't know.
It's pool noodles.
No, well, it just says
It just says pool
I like
floats.
how you said that. You were like, "Oh, I wonder." Like,
That's a
I
good
remember this
idea.
one
Johnson's.
time.
Oh, I
I'm
understand.
I'm
now.
intrigued.
Johnson,
Yeah,
you've been
Because-
sticking your
no,
Johnson
I'm
in
trying
something.
to figure out.
I wonder how he did
fornicate
that.
with a big blow-up flamingo.
I don't know.
Versus
Did you ever
a
see
pool
that?
noodle with a conveniently sized hole through the middle? That makes.
Yeah,
a
you
little
can't
more
really
sense
cut a
than-
hole in a pool floaty, can you?
Right.
Did
That's
you guys
what
ever
I'm
see
saying.
that shit on Netflix a couple years back? They had a documentary about people that were like fetishizing and like
that a
supposedly
word?
like
Fetishizing.
Fetishizing? I don't think that's a word.
Fetishini?
I'm gonna
If
let
it is,
slide.
it's a fun
That's
word.
Italian
You know
food.
what, Toad? I'll give
I'm
you
pretty sure
credit. Though.
fetishizing
You made
is a
it
word.
sound 100% legit, and
Yeah,
I,
and he
you know,
sent it.
I'm
like,
buying it.
full
because I think
confidence.
send it. He sent it.
fetishistically.
That is the name of this episode. Fetishistically.
The funny thing is you guys are laughing, but if you got open a dictionary, you'd find out that fetishizing and fetishistically are both actual real words.
Is fetishistically a real word?
Googling
Somebody Google that shit. We have the Google. We have the
Say it,
Google
Toad.
machine.
You can't even say.
Fetishistically.
Here are some results.
Played
Nope. Fetishistic. Followed by the name Lee.
Is fetishistic a word?
Hold on.
Worship of or belief in magical fetishes.
Boy, this has devolved into a,
wow. It's really
a real shit
Yeah.
show, guys.
Suck it.
What was the word?
We were letting it slide, Toad.
What was the word?
I told you it was real.
Fetishistically.
That's an actual word.
I fucking told you. Beep. Anyway,
Yeah,
years ago there was
In
a
a
documentary.
fetishistic manner.
Interesting. So anyway, go on with your story.
Anyway, there was a documentary on Netflix years ago about it was a couple of guys and a girl, and
Are you
No,
sure
I
this
think it's
was
I
on-
think it's two girls, one
it's
cup.
separate.
gonna
It's
say.
not on the same scene.
You sure this was
Get
on
your
Netflix?
fracking minds out of the damn gutter.
This was on Pornhub, not on Netflix, wasn't it?
Anyway, it was about this one guy. He was like, it pops onto the screen. He's like, I'm in a relationship with 9 stuffed animals, and you're like,
All right.
what? I'm not watching this shit. And then you like get kind of sucked into it. You're like,
Do you see the dude?
What
What like
the-
47
Yeah.
minutes later.
what the hell is
I've
wrong with
seen
these people?
This was
And then
on, like, Discovery Channel,
yeah,
too.
and then there's the other guy who's like, I'm in a relationship with my car.
Yeah,
and he's
he
out
was-
there like making out with the hood of the car, and you're like,
He
what
was-
the?
He was banging the tailpipe of this thing.
Yeah.
Boy.
Swear
Boys,
to you.
This
Yeah.
reminds me.
Guys, I
Goodness.
apologize.
This chick married to a zombie doll.
Oh, I've
Oh,
seen
I've
this.
seen
Did you
It's
see that?
Real messed up. It's real messed
I
up.
don't
And
understand
the thing that's like her family supports her in this, like, and they,
They
kind of
should
just
shit
go
out of my
along with
kid.
it. Well,
Depending on their age.
she's like, you know, 30s, 40s,
Then I'd
I
beat the
think.
shit out of her.
it.
Yeah. So yeah, this.
Oh my god, put that fire up there.
Don't,
You need help.
Nah.
don't,
I'm gonna
don't
go
put
ahead and leave that
picture
one
up.
out.
In the actual.
Yeah, that's. I don't. She
Sam
needs
says I can't
serious.
drop as many F-bombs
needs
as I have
committed.
been, so I gotta
Boy,
come up
this
with a new
this
word.
this whole we
This
went
div-
from dumbass of the day to
this-
some really dark
To
shit.
marrying
Seriously,
zombie
like-
dolls.
Oh, my.
This devolved into some pretty dark.
Well, we
shit.
told
I
you-
made sure that the whole wedding was done properly, so it would be as official as possible, and we consummated the marriage afterwards.
Yeah, but she's not.
It's a doll.
No,
it's not official.
Here's
in
the
any
funny
way.
thing, Box. She's not only in that relationship with that doll. There's like
She's
4
got like
others.
several
5 or
others.
6
She's
others.
They
cheating
attended
on
the wedding.
Zombie doll?
It's what?
She's cheating on Zombie doll?
All right.
That bitch.
No, they're just friends.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's real weird. But hey, whatever makes you
You know,
happy.
back
I
in the
guess.
day, the Spartans would kick people like that off cliffs. Can we start doing that again?
No, this is America, Toad. This ain't Sparta. Or,
We used to hang people for crap like that.
What?
It's not Sparta. I
But what if-
mispronounced it.
But Sam, what if this is Sparta?
Well,
Jesus.
they need a meme of Trump going, "This is America."
Yeah,
Watch
said,
Taylor.
this is
somebody
Sparta.
into a pit.
No, they already got one of those.
Do they?
Yep, I've seen it. I like that one.
Good for them.
I like
Good
that.
for them.
I like that
Good
one.
for them. You're damn
I like
right.
that one meme I made it you into. I'm pretty sure I saved that one.
Oh, sweet Jesus. We don't. I can't even remember what it was, but let's not bring that one
Oh, let me look at my phone.
up. Something about a hipster. Yeah, we're not.
Well,
we're-
you had that goofy ass white crocheted beanie on. You were wearing a green flannel shirt. You had this like Van Gogh freaking.
it was a
beard thing
Yamaha
going on.
beanie, man. And
It
from
did
the
not in
1970s.
anywhere say Yamaha. And
Yes,
you're
it's
holding
a
a cup of
Yamaha.
coffee.
Oh,
and you're like,
the white one with
Yes.
orange on it.
Yes.
Yeah, that's 100% Yamaha, man.
well, maybe it should say
And
Yamaha.
it is a
on it,
family
and-
It
heirloom.
does
My
say
my
Yamaha
uncle
on
wore
it.
that in the 70s, man.
He had his mother wash it just a couple months ago.
She
Well,
hand washed
I
it.
turned you into a meme.
You're a prick.
Oh yeah, it's white on the bottom, orange on the top,
And it says Yamaha.
That is
Yamaha?
not it, though. That is not the
Yeah,
Yamaha
that's not the
beanie.
Yamaha.
That
What
is
am I
definitely a
wearing?
crocheted white beanie.
No, that's the same one.
No,
You want
I
to bet?
do
I
not
have it in the
believe-
house right
Is there any
now.
way we can put this on the podcast?
I doubt it.
No, you could, but it'd take.
In theory, but
But
Don't wanna risk
anyways,
it.
we are going to move on with this shit show on to the next subject, and we're going to kind of get this back on the subject of freedom. Well, it's kind of anti-freedom, I guess.
Can I tell my Dugway story at some point?
Yes,
during this?
please.
What's
we
your
might
Douglas
as
story?
well.
Why we got the shit show in the middle
Because we're
rolling?
talking about freedom and
Uh,
maybe not freedom. So, on one of my motorcycle
can I-
trips that we alluded
can I give
to,
the back way on what Dugway is before you start, so people kind of know what you're talking about?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right,
Yeah.
so Dugway Proving Grounds is out in the desert, I believe,
Middle of Utah, yeah.
and it's kind of the home base for all the weird, wacky, crazy shit Uncle Sam comes up with.
Chemical wise.
Chemical
me.
wise, nuclear wise, there's a lot of stuff goes on there too. It's a very top secret installation. And with that, we'll go back to Andrew.
Yeah, so they do a lot of dirty bomb testing there,
Mhm.
chemical agents. Anthrax was developed there. Also, a few years back, when live samples of anthrax was sent out to a bunch of different hospitals across the U.S. on accident, that was out of Dugway. They're supposed to send like inert samples of anthrax to all these hospitals to say, hey, if you get a case of anthrax, you can look at this to treat it and all that stuff. Well, somebody messed up and sent live anthrax to all these hospitals.
Somebody's getting fired.
Yeah. So on one of our motorcycle trips, we went out to Bonneville Salt Flats.
Been there.
Yeah,
sweet.
we went out there for Speed Week where they do all the land speed records and stuff like that. And, we went out there and we decided one day we were gonna take off and go riding out through the mountains and stuff. Head off across the desert for a little bit and then go ride through the mountains. Well, we were needing gas, and so we just got on our phones. You know, you're on Google Maps and you see this nice little town. You know, out in the desert, nice green grass on Google Maps. Oh, Dugway convenience store. Okay, we'll run there. You know, we were close. We were probably 40 miles from there. It's like, okay, that'll be about perfect. So we're following Google Maps, and you know, it doesn't tell us anything on Google Maps. So we just come down, flying down the highway, roll up to this place, and there's like an obstacle course that you got to go through on the highway. It was like, well, this is odd. So we roll up, and there's like a post out at the
Guard check.
guard building out at the road there. After we get through this obstacle course, and all of a sudden, this dude that is like a brick shit house. I mean, huge muscular monster dude comes out with his AR or his M4 and another dude in the guard shack, and this big son of a gun comes out, and he's probably like 65 years old, total white hair, you know, like flat top, high and tight,
Typical
hardcore
sergeant
military
looking.
dude. Yeah, but like has been injected with God knows what chemicals they've created at this place, you know, like just a behemoth of a dude. And he's like, military ID? And we're like, we just, we're on Google Maps and saw that there was a gas station here and we're running out of fuel. We need gas. Military ID? We don't have any. Well, then you can just turn your happy asses around.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Thanks.
Okay.
Yes,
you know.
sir.
So we turn around, we make it over the mountain. Luckily, we just shut our bikes off going down the other side of the mountain. Go through like 3 towns, didn't have gas, finally got gas. Went and found somewhere to eat and have a beer. And we were like looking it up, you know, what the hell was it? Where did we just try and go? And so we start looking it up and we're like, oh, no shit. Good thing they didn't just let us in there, you know? Like, I think like in the 60s or 70s, they killed like thousands of sheep in the surrounding
Yeah, they
area.
did,
They
yeah.
tested like a dirty bomb and it like went off and like some nerve agent they were testing and killed like thousands of sheep, and all the ones that it didn't kill they had to euthanize anyway because they thought they were contaminated with this nerve agent.
Jeez.
Oh man. Yeah, it's quite the place. Don't try and go
Sounds
there.
like it.
Don't look at Dugway on Google Maps. If
I
you're
think
out
I'll
around
avoid that place.
the
Holy
Bonneville
shit.
Salt Flats and be like, yeah, I need to get gas there. Don't try it. Yeah. Not a good idea. The guy at the guard shack's a little mutsy.
Well, I don't even know how to transition from that, I guess. Yeah, that's we're gonna talk about the
On to the Virginia
So
Beach
that's
shooting.
here. Yeah, a good way to transition is, you know, they do some secretive stuff there, and it's a little fishy along with
Yeah,
the
absolutely.
tiny scale
Yeah.
here.
So you all heard about this this shooting in Virginia Beach a couple weeks ago. He went into a government building, and I think it was 12 people were killed, plus him. Or did he not die? I can't remember. Doesn't matter. So anyways, he shot a bunch of people, and I'm pretty sure he was killed. But he had a suppressor on one of his guns, on his .45 caliber pistol. And and this is one of the first. This is one of the first major crimes that a
Mass
suppressor has been
shooting.
used in a long time. I mean, you can look up. I can't say this word. Somebody else.
Statistics.
Yes. You can look up,
Nailed it.
and there is instances of that they've been used in.
Instances.
It's late. It's Saturday night. Just back off. This is gonna happen. I don't.
If
talk
you think
good.
we're backing off,
The
you
second
are
ep- the
very
second
wrong.
episode is called "I Don't Talk Good." So anyway, this was like 2 weeks before the Supreme Court came out with their decision on a suppressor decision that would have changed if they had taken it up. It would have changed the way that that we view
Suppressors are classified.
Yes. What? Suppressors are NFA
Right.
are NFA
So
items,
They
national
would have
firearms.
They could have possibly been classified as a firearm
Correct.
accessory.
Correct.
afterwards,
Yes.
If it would have.
Yes,
gone
and
way
the
we
case that
wanted
was coming up was the way that the Supreme Court and the government has justified regulating suppressors was by interstate commerce. They say that since they're sold between states, that the government can regulate them by interstate commerce. So Kansas said recently that, or it's been several years ago, that they. Okay, well, if a weapon is made completely in Kansas and the materials and everything are from Kansas, you can't regulate this, which is 100% solid, 100%. You can't argue with that, because if the way the government is gonna regulate it is interstate, and you says, okay, well, screw you, we're not gonna do it interstate, we're just gonna do it completely.
intrastate.
Yes. So this and it was a veteran, an ex military guy. He ended up getting arrested for this, and they appealed it all the way up to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court basically, one of the few things that they can, one of the ways that they can decide cases is just to not hear it, and they just said, well, screw you, we're not going to hear this. And this was a week after a suppressor was used in a crime for the first time in years and years and years and years and years. Like, tell me that this is not a conspiracy theorist podcast, but tell me that this is not frickin' ridiculous. That's, to me, is just outrageous.
Well, and the thing about suppressors too is, like, I feel like even a lot of our lawmakers don't exactly know what the hell they are.
No, they call them silencers, which
Yep.
is not
and
what they are.
And
Hollywood,
they think
like,
they're all movie quiet.
Yep, and that's the problem. Is everybody out there that doesn't shoot, that doesn't know guns, that doesn't know suppressors, is going to think, oh, that guy went into that office building and he shot 12 people and nobody could hear him. But guess
Well,
what,
that's-
folks? A suppressor's still pretty freaking loud.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
The chief that gave the talk, whatever the hell you want to,
press conference.
yeah, press conference after it, he said, yeah, he had his suppressor, but it likely had zero effect
They
on
don't do
anything.
shit in the building
Yeah,
like that.
no,
It's still
no,
it's still nail gun loud. The only thing that a suppressor does, it makes it hearing safe. So
Which
if
is, 130 decibels?
128, I think.
Yeah.
so even if he
wicked
was
loud.
shooting this, and he had several guns, by the way. This was not his only gun that he had. But even if he was shooting it, it's still nail gun loud. You can freaking still hear a nail gun, through doors, through all sorts of things. This did likely have no effect on this. And the other interesting part was they just came out a week or so after the shooting happened, and they said, we're not going to release whether this suppressor was registered or not, because it's what they call it, like, vital to the investigation. So they wouldn't release whether it was registered or not, which would mean to me it clearly was not registered.
It was probably homemade.
It don't. So to get a suppressor in the U.S., you have to pay a $200 tax stamp, submit
Wait
to a
a
background
year.
check, and wait 8 months to a year. So it's already completely ridiculously regulated.
My guess is this guy made one in his garage.
100%. What other reason would they have to deny the American public telling them whether this was a registered suppressor or not?
because it doesn't fit their narrative.
Exactly.
To say
If
that
it
they're
was,
bad.
if it was registered, they would say, "Oh, it's
Because-
registered. It doesn't, this thing doesn't work. Let's, screw this." But they didn't say that, and
No,
damn well,
because-
that that's exactly what happened,
Yeah.
and that's
Well,
just
And that's the reason they do that is, I mean, it's pretty easy for us to see, but for the normal populace, they just don't want to tell you that the laws don't work on criminals.
they don't
They're
know.
already breaking, like what I have never understood, the thing that just bothers me to no end, and this ties in with last week, people putting their opinions all over the internet like they're law,
Right.
But what bothers me to no end is that they will deny saying that like they want to ban guns, right? That's their end goal, is to get rid of all firearms.
Mhm.
That's just their end goal.
Yeah.
It is.
And
Everybody knows.
and
it.
at this point they've stated that many, many times. That's
Yeah.
not a
Right.
But they'll
That's
still try
their
and
main
tell
goal.
you. They'll still try and walk it back.
They'll call it common sense gun reform.
Mhm. Yeah, but that's their end goal, is to just remove all firearms.
Yep.
But my thing is, why don't they just ban murder? Oh, shoot.
Wait, they already did.
They already did. It's already illegal to kill someone, no matter if you strangle them, you stab them, you shoot them, you eat them alive, whatever you are into. Killing somebody is killing somebody,
It don't.
and it's already illegal. So
Yep.
how the heck does removing guns change that whatsoever?
Well, it's like China. You see that their stabbing rate has gone through the freaking roof.
Look at the
No,
UK.
The same
London,
thing with
London,
UK, yeah.
Look at the UK.
Oh my God,
It's
They,
a
they
fucking shit
now
show.
made sharp point
Yep.
knives illegal. You have to have a blunt edge knife.
Yep.
You buy a
Kitchen
chef's-
knives
you
or
buy a
anything like
fit-
that.
You buy a chef knife now. You buy a chef knife. Your normal chef knife, nice thick blade,
With a
2.5
point.
inches
With a point.
with a point on it. No, there are like a half-inch radius blunt. It's like, okay, so we'll just slit your throat with it instead of jabbing you with it. It doesn't make any sense.
Well,
but
the
it is illegal to
others-
sell pointed knives.
Yes,
in the UK
but
now.
you can make a knife from literally anything.
About
A
anything.
freaking butter knife,
They
man.
find a pair of scissors on the street over there, and they claim it is some
It was
Yeah.
like
Thank God this was taken off the
seriously,
streets.
They're giving. At some point, they're gonna start saying, "Hey, we can't sell sharp scissors," so they're gonna start giving rounded edge scissors to everybody.
Yes.
They've reverted back to
Useless
kindergarten
scissors.
rules, man. Seriously,
Yeah.
that's why we told them to go screw themselves in
Well, did you
1776.
see the other thing they're doing?
But what?
If you post on any social media over there, and
A derogatory comment.
and
yes.
somebody reports it, they will sorry,
Oh, it's
beep.
all right. I'm gonna have to bleep several in this
they
episode.
will
so-
fucking arrest you. Like, I've read several stories where it's happened. Like, somebody said something against some
One of the protected
transvestite
class.
guy over there, and he reported it, and boom,
Yeah.
got arrested.
Yeah, but they don't have the First Amendment.
You know, when I was in England,
No.
There's no freedom
There's a
of
reason
speech
we
there.
have the First and the Second Amendment in this country, and that's the same reason why we get so fired up about this, and the same reason we fight to protect it, because it's just outrageous the lengths that they will go to, and even in this country, they're on this platform. This video will be up on YouTube. And just the other day, I don't know if you guys know who Steven Crowder is, a very outspoken conservative. But I think if you'd call it, he is the least the farthest thing from hate
Mhm.
that you would
Absolutely.
he speaks the truth, and he might speak things that some of these people don't want to hear, but he's not hateful. That's his. He's never been hateful, and you can't show me a single clip on his entire YouTube channel that was hateful. And guess what? They didn't ban him for breaking their policies. The way that they banned him, they said, well, he didn't break any of our policies, but if you look at his work as a whole, and I shit you not, this is the way they justified it. If you look at his work as a whole, then you could kind of see that it was maybe derogatory towards some people, and it fancied other, not fancied, but it favored other people. That is how they banned. That's how they got around. That's how they got around their policies.
So is any other sports fan that posts anything on
but
YouTube
this
that
is
talks
this
trash.
is free speech. This is what free speech means.
That's what I'm saying. Is you
Free
can take
speech-
that and
free
spin
speech
that into
doesn't
any
exist.
situation.
If free speech doesn't protect something that offends you, it's not free speech.
Right.
If
I can
you say something
any kind of hateful thing,
exactly,
even if it is hateful, I
Exactly.
can say something
so
very hateful.
so
but
I
still
don't
have the right
like
to say it.
the free speech thing being brought up though when it comes to YouTube. They can do whatever the hell they want.
but at some
And
point,
It's not. It has nothing to do with free
it's a private
speech. It's
company.
what they want.
Right.
yes,
It is a
but
Don't
at
throw the
some
free
point-
speech flag out.
But at some point, when these businesses become so big, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, when they become so big, we regulate utilities and who they can and can't discriminate against. At what point can we say Facebook is too big? And Facebook, actually YouTube, the other day came out and it said that they're no longer a platform; they're a publisher. So once you say that you're a publisher, you are responsible for shit on your channel.
Mhm.
So at what point can we say you are too big? Like you're making too much influence. We can't just allow this shit to be complete. We can't just
And at
completely
yeah.
shut down one side and allow the other to do whatever they want. It doesn't work like that. We can't
Right.
allow this. And their bias towards the right is just at this point is so
the left.
far.
They have no bias to the right.
Yeah, I don't know. And we'll get off this. We're sorry we went off on a tangent. Like I said, it's late on a Saturday night.
It's what happens when Sam drinks.
when I do get a little excited, but it's only because I'm passionate.
Watch
about
this, guys. Hey, Sam. Google.
Actually, I'm more furious at iTunes this week. Getting the podcast published on everything. Which I don't know where y'all are listening to this at, but we're finally. I think I said this in the beginning. We're on.
Definitely did.
We're on all the platforms right now, but it was interesting getting it there, and iTunes was a pain in my rear end getting it all the way. It just
You
it
can
was
say
a
ass.
pain.
It's just the F-bomb that you have to bleep out.
Yeah, thanks, Toad.
You're welcome, buddy. Anytime. So we're going to move on to... has anybody ever had a mistaken text message?
Oh boy.
I was privy party to...
privy.
I was a privy party to one of these this week.
I think privy means you were privileged to it, which if you thought you were privileged.
I seriously did, because that was a golden moment. I laughed
what happened was
so hard, I about went in the ditch.
So what happened was me and these three yahoos, actually four, Tony, you haven't met him yet. We have a
Probably won't ever either.
Yeah,
we have a text message chain going on. And the other morning, Thursday or Friday morning, I was trying to text Toad and these guys. So I was scrolling through my text messages and I just see Toad or Seth, and I seen a name behind him. I was like, oh, that's it, because he's always in the top and he's a lot of times first. So I didn't even look at the names.
If you ain't first, you're last.
Yeah, Ricky, what's
He's a
when
Ricky
I said
Bobby.
that?
So I just clicked his name and I was like, all right, and I text out my text message. Oh, shit. I'm telling
Yeah.
a story, man.
Doesn't matter, Sam. You
Frick,
lost.
this
You're a
beer
loser.
bitch. I need to make sure not to lose again.
Because it sucks.
So what happened
Whoa.
was.
I
What?
said sensuous.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
He's a terrible beer bitch.
You need to fill the void.
You're even
What do you
losing
want me
it,
to fill?
losing.
I'm not filling your void, Sam.
Boy, guys, if you've made it this far, I applaud you. And I apologize
request of you
for the
after
shit
he's
show
had
that
a
this has
couple
become.
drinks of whiskey. It is unbelievable. The real Sam comes out.
Yeah, it's funny that John's
Literally.
giving me shit about that, but so anyways,
You guys have seen the videos.
All right,
It's
I
weird.
deserve that.
so it's Anyways, so I clicked on Toad, and it was Thursday. I think it was Friday.
No, it was Thursday.
Okay. So I was Googling something because I was gonna send a picture to these guys.
No,
So my text,
Oh, yeah, we
I don't need to.
got rid of that.
my text message to Toad and this I don't
Other party.
yes, other party. I won't say who she is.
Can I read
What
it?
you had to-
don't read.
kinda
Let me
wanna
see
read
it, and I will bleep it out. Basically, I said I just Googled something, with guns to get a nice pic to send you guys, and came upon a something, doing something with a
something.
pitchfork.
I was wondering what the hell that was about in our group chat.
The last thing I said was, "Man, the internet is cool." And
I want to know what this was about because
And
there was
so-
something said in our.
so literally as soon as I sent this, I saw, oh shit, this is addressed to Toad and not the rest of my buddies.
A
here.
female friend of ours.
Which she's cool, but just she immediately responded with, I don't know if she said what the.
Let me
She
read
said,
that, John.
laughing my effing ass off, nasty ass, TF wrong with you. And then
Yeah.
I said, I'm laughing so hard right now, I'm crying. Because I was pulling into Ottawa, and I had to pull over on the side of the road because my eyes were watering so bad. I couldn't
Yeah.
see.
It was interesting. It was interesting. Luckily,
Yeah,
Can we
I need
see-
to read this. You can't keep this from
well,
us.
just don't.
No, we're not gonna.
So-
Scroll down.
So luckily, the other person that I sent this to is a good friend of ours.
Oh boy.
She's a good friend of ours, and we're pretty close with her. So she's just like, wow, and laughed her ass off. It was not a big deal.
Oh, it was funny though.
But I'm like, at this point, there ain't no way my mom is listening. So I was just glad that I did not accidentally send it to like her. You know what I'm saying? That would have been rather awkward. But you guys, we were talking about this just a little bit before the podcast. You guys have never had a mistaken text message
Nothing
like
that stands out to me. No,
Oh, I did.
really?
I did.
I'm
I don't-
particularly careful with my texting.
Well, I usually am, but every now and then
Especially
it squeaks
picture
through.
Messages, right? Fuck.
Oh yeah, no, I use Snapchat for that.
No, I can't recall a specific instance.
Oh, I've got a pretty good one, but I don't want to talk about it.
I
Yeah.
can't.
Oh, you kinda
recall
have
a
to now.
Specific
Do you-
instance where I was like, oh,
Interesting.
hey, wrong person. At least it was. If I did send it to the wrong person, it wasn't anything embarrassing.
It wasn't like
or it
horrible,
wasn't
right?
like
well,
a,
obviously,
you know,
right.
It was like,
The-
hey, when are you gonna be there? Oh, sorry, wrong
The
person.
last
You
one
know
I
what
had was when I was living in Kansas City, and the girl that I was living with, she always went to work before me. So I was texting her that particular morning about something I won't go into details about. But
You yada yada
I yada yada yada.
mentioned
I yada
the
yada
best.
yada. And then immediately after, like 30 seconds after I sent this text message, I get another text from my boss at that time, and it was just like, dude, ... question mark, and I was like the panic set in. It was like, oh my god, did I just send it to my boss? Oh my god, and I was just like,
It was a dick pic, wasn't it? You sent
No,
your boss
it
a
was
dick
not.
pic.
It was not. But I got to work. I was like, I was freaking out. I'm like, hey, what'd you send me this text for? He's like, well, just wondering if you're coming to work. I was like, oh my god, man, you about gave me a heart attack. So those are my two mistaken text messages. But Toad, you had one.
Oh, I hope my mom doesn't listen to this.
She ain't
It's been a while. I doubt
She's
it.
not listening. It's been over an hour. She
So
ain't
this is,
listening at this
keep
point.
in mind, this has been over a decade ago.
Mom,
back
that
when
is the
everybody had
statute of limitations.
flip phones.
Yeah.
I had been out
Don't
with my
cut me, bro.
girlfriend the night before, new girl I was seeing, and things went very well. And she texted me the next morning.
What does that mean, Toad?
I think we all know what that means.
Yes.
And she texted me the next morning, and I was in college. I was in class, And I said, yeah, I had last night was amazing. I had a great, time, something. I don't remember the exact verbiage.
I see where this is going.
But I sent it, and then I looked at it, and I was like, oh, shit. I sent it to my mom.
Oops.
And
That's a bad day.
my little sister intercepted it for
Oh,
me.
nice.
And
Ooh,
because
Did she
saved.
delete it and everything?
I called my mom's phone, and my little sister picked up. She's like, I go to the last text message I sent mom. She goes, what the hell? I'm like, delete it.
now.
She's like, how much money you give me? And I'm like,
Ooh.
$50.
I don't care. Whatever you want, just delete it.
The last thing that I accidentally sent my my mom was on Johnson's bachelor party.
Oh God.
Was it a picture?
I did
Yes,
not
it was.
know
It
about
was a
this.
picture, and it was
From the
the
strip club.
nope. It was a picture of the van that said "free candy."
Oh. Big white
So-
panel van at
Yeah,
that.
I was
That's not
really
a joke.
stoned
That
though.
actually
I was really
happened.
surprised. I didn't see any pictures of that on Facebook the weeks after that.
No, that seriously happened. I sent my mom a picture of the
You know,
free candy van. I
I
didn't.
also
not mean
She
to,
was
but it-
so proud of us, I bet.
Oh yeah.
I just want you to know, I watch a car channel on YouTube, Cletus McFarlane, so they do a bunch of drag racing stuff, and they were in Houston or Vegas or somewhere. They were a ways away from home, so they needed to rent a vehicle to get around. I think it was Vegas, and they had rented a identical 12-passenger white Chevy van. And when they showed up, it had a sign on the side in brown butcher paper, free candy on the side of it. I was like, you thieving son of a gun. I knew. But I know they didn't get it from us, but it made me laugh.
I was sitting in Ducey's last night, and
We drove for like an hour and a half with that sign.
We
on
did.
The side of that van.
The
That was
guy
some
that
good
put it on
cheering.
it, put that sign on the van, Tony, he was supposed to be here. He was getting pretty antsy about having it actually on the van. About 20 minutes into the drive, he was like, guys, we really need to take this sign
and
off.
the funniest
And it was
part
his
about-
idea.
The funniest part about that, it was really bad. But we started the day at Dusky's. And we parked a van that had a giant free candy sign on the side of it
Yeah, they were all impressed.
at Dusky's,
They were
right
seriously
up front
impressed.
where everyone that drove by could see it.
Teresa brought her kids
And
in, and she was like,
There is a children's birthday party going on in the other side of this building. And we have a van, a just stereotypical rape van with free candy on the side of it.
Teresa came in, and she's like, guys, what the hell's up with that van in there? My kids are freaking out right now.
they want the candy. I'm like, we don't have any candy.
Sorry.
Literally zero
But I
candy
was
in that
sitting there,
van.
sitting there at Ducey's last night, and little big Sudbeck walked in, sat down, and I looked over him, and I was like, I go, Sudbeck, and he looks at me, he's like, oh, the bachelor party hour. Shh, we don't talk about that.
What stays at the or what happens at the bachelor party stays at the bachelor party. That was an interesting night in the middle of South Dakota.
Oh my
nowhere.
goodness,
I
that
was
you guys
surprised
remember
we
that
didn't
gravel
get
road
stuck. Yeah.
with about a foot of snow on it, and a 2-wheel drive, 15-passenger van?
So Johnson's best man
Man.
was he's a good dude, but he was
Shit-tastic
co-navigator.
navigator.
he was navigating that night, and he was shit faced.
He's the antagonist of the story here.
We had
So
a
he
very
got-
sober driver, though. We really did.
So he got yes, we did. We had a DD 100%.
We're good people.
If you're gonna drive drunk, don't. I mean, if you're
If you're gonna drive drunk, have a
if you're
sober
gonna
driver,
drink,
guys.
if you're gonna drink, don't drive drunk. But yeah, he navigated us into the wrong place, like on some level F roads.
It was 100% on purpose too. It wasn't
we were in
accidental navigation.
we
It
were-
was
it wasn't
this looks
him
like
not-
trouble. We're going there.
Yeah, it wasn't like a, hey, you need to go straight here, like looking at his map and not paying attention. We like got to where the map told us to turn, and there's a half snow covered, half puddle ridden dirt road. And
yeah,
he
they
was
didn't
like,
even they
"Go
didn't plow
straight."
these they didn't plow these roads. They didn't plow these roads, and we were in a 15-passenger 2-wheel drive white van. It was a It was a disaster.
But
I never
don't
did-
worry, we had pulled the attraction control fuse out of it, so we were good to go.
100%.
Yeah, it had all the wheel
Anyways.
speed we needed.
All right, guys. I am shutting this episode
No,
down.
we're having fun.
I am shutting this episode down, and
Shut
we'll
it
keep
down,
having
shut
fun
it down.
afterwards.
We need to
but,
do this more often on Saturday nights.
So if you have made it this far into the episode, I am extremely impressed. But
let us know if you're having fun listening to us, and you should tell Sam to let us go just a little bit
Absolutely.
longer.
Yeah.
But shoot me a message on Facebook, and I'll give you a free Shyworks hat if you have made it this far. The first person that shoots me a message at Shyworks on Facebook, you get a
It's
free
gonna
hat.
be-
This is going to be the one podcast that blows up, and you're going to have like 500 requests.
Yeah, but I said the first one. I said the
Hey,
first
we,
one.
we have a lot of
I'm
people
gonna
that
send
said
him a
it.
message right
Actually,
now because
yeah.
I made it.
Which
this
I will
need
be
a hat.
extremely impressed if anybody has made it this far. But it has been fun, and like I warned you guys, it was a shit show, but it was a good time. We had a little bit of fun, a little bit too much fun at some points, but I thank you guys for sticking with us. Check out Ballistic Imagery on YouTube as well as his new Facebook page
and Instagram.
and Instagram. Check out Life Short Live Free on Instagram and the
YouTube
Shyworks page
and-
on
all of our social media.
check it all out.
Check it all out.
Check it all out.
Oh, don't forget to look up also Kraut Tea by Mountain
Yeah,
Dew.
Kraut Tea that is coming to you soon by Mountain Dew.
Completely organic. It is.
It's
I can't
absolutely
say enough.
Only
absolutely
only
delicious.
available in Sears and
It
Kmart.
is absolutely delicious. Guys, I thank you for listening to us. We love you, and we'll be back in 2 weeks. Keep an eye out for us. And until we talk to you next time, remember, life's short, live free. God bless you guys.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Peace out, homies.
Boy,
That was...
I feel like we did good.
That was off the effing rails.